Chris from OCE Pedals is one of my favorite fuzz builders. I like him so much. Him and I collaborated on this one, Signature Fuzz for me. Let me tell you a little bit about OCE. It all started with this. He was just like every other pedal builder, every other small business starts with recreating circuits that we know and love. This would be a blues breaker. Then he moved on to the hardware series, which is that stuff. Showed you several of them on the channel. Here's another one, that wrench in the back. Showed you many of those on the channel. I was a huge fan of the hardware series. It's still ongoing. I don't know if there's going to be any additions to it, but you can still buy the pedals that are from there. Remarkable. They all had those little tools and stuff like that. Then he went a little bit crazy and started doing like little, this is, for example, a Lord of the Rings thing, themed pedals. Now comes the Atomic series. Ladies and gentlemen, today we launched the Atomic series with the Demon Core. A fuzz that has so much gain you'd think is completely unusable except for metal, but listen to this. What is up, YouTube? My name is Buddy Blues, and it's Small Business Tuesday on this here lovely Thursday or Friday. I don't know. Chris can't decide on when to release pedals, so here we are. Chris from OCE Pedals has just launched a new series called the Atomic Series. It's something that he's always been passionate about. You know, the atomic tests during the Cold War, a little bit before, during World War II, all of that. It's always been a passion of his. It's a strange passion. Listen, it's a very strange passion. Everything about this pedal, when it comes to the name, is strange, but it sounds great and it looks amazing. Demon Core, you might have heard of it, was the core of what was supposed to be the third bomb that went to Japan, but didn't end up going because the Japanese surrendered and stuff like that. It's history. It's horrible. It's history, but he's always been fascinated by the science behind it rather than the, you know, I'm not trying to uncancel Chris. You should go watch this video. So what is it? It looks a little bit similar to it's a Fuzz, and it looks similar to the Gentleman, doesn't it? It's got the same principles, if you will, which I'm suing, by the way, but he calls this the Gentleman's very rowdy cousin. Again, we have a Fuzz dimed on the inside, so there's none of that. This is just volume. Volume, he calls it critical mass, which is what happens to a core when, and you activate it with a foot switch called supercritical, which is what happens when a core, when it goes supercritical and very unstable and blah, blah, blah. So Fuzz on one side, a boost on the other that has to work with the Fuzz when the Fuzz is on. It's called, he calls this is just pretty much gain on here, and clarity. It adds clarity. It doesn't do what the Gentleman does. What the boost on the Gentleman does is it rounds out the Fuzz. It mids out the Fuzz, rounds it, fullifies it, more Eric Johnson. This doesn't do that. This kind of does the opposite, but it's still very usable because it doesn't do fizzy. It does more clarity on the Fuzz. Somehow, by adding more gain, it adds clarity. I don't know how this works. You turn that on with something called prompt critical. We're not going to go into that. Blue flash is what the scientists used to see before the Demon Core killed them, 2 of them. He's using a new powder coat, new boxes, new everything inside the box. It's really cool. I'm very excited to see where this series goes because I have every single one from the hardware series. I'm a hardcore fan of the hardware series. I have every single one. You've seen every single one on the channel. I'm a huge fan of when he goes into those little rabbit holes of his. His mind is fascinating. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, try not to mention the Atomic series, it'll go off for days. But if you ever get a chance to talk to him, he's a fascinating person to talk to. I love spending time with him too. Okay, enough blah blah. Let's hear this thing. I'm going to keep playing that same PRS. I want you to listen to when I move the volume to the clarity. I want you to listen to the boost when I activate it and stuff like that. Pay attention to the nuances and how hard I'm playing. A user made a comment the other day saying that he enjoys how much I move stuff on the guitar rather than on the pedal. And I very much appreciate that because that's, A, it's how I play, B, it's how you probably play too. Victory MK Clean, Oxbox, let's get to it. This is gonna kill me. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you have now heard the Demon Core by OCE. Tons of gain, tons of gain from here to all the way to Ireland. So much gain, but usable. Usable. There's something about high gain fuzzes that I gel with. And you've heard me say on the channel a million times, I'm not a high gain person. There's a lot of just today, I already rejected a pedal from a company that sent it to me because it sounds great. It's just not who I am, and I can't make it fun, you know? I can't, for me. So any high gain stuff I usually reject. This somehow worked. And hey, if you're thinking, why can't the boosts work together and stuff like that, it's not how he designed it to be. I don't think the Atomic series are going to be like that. It's going to be more of, this is the concept of how he wants it. But if you like it with the boost on, just click it on before you turn the pedal on. And just click that. It's kind of like a master button, master switch on and off. Or keep it on and then press this on for solos and stuff like that. If this was your first Small Business Tuesday, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. It's always a pleasure having you here. My name is Buddy Blues. That's what we do. We look at small businesses in the music community. We try to give them a voice. We try to lift them up because they're the ones that need it most. Last week, I posted my very first lesson. Even though I have a tab called Lessons, I did a few lessons like 5 years ago and then I just never did again. But last week I posted a lesson on some of my chords and stuff like that you guys always ask me about. And I think I'm going to make that a regular thing because a lot of people enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. And hey, I'm here for the people. Consider liking if you like this video. Consider subscribing, sharing, show this video to your grandmother. If you didn't like this video, go to your grandmother's house. After she force feeds you food, asks you, hey, are you hungry? You're going to say no. It's the whole song and dance, the tango that we do with all of our grandmothers. At the very end, show her that video and say, isn't this guy a schmuck? Thank you so much for being here. I have been Buddy Blues. You have been the people of the blues. Until next time, thank you for watching.